This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. WFO Joe here. What a day it has been. What a day it has been. Got everything queued up with Alan Reinhart, and the Google Cloud goes down right 1 minute before the show. Like 1 minute right before the show, but I am not going to be deterred. I saw everybody out there chatting it up and talking about it, so I decided to switch over here and go live. And I don't expect a huge audience for this one because, you know, we promote and we schedule and all of that. And when the internet craps on you 1 minute before you're about to go live, Reinhardt's on there. What are we doing? He's calling, the whole deal. What did we do? We recorded for the audio-only podcast listeners is what we did. Those people who are subscribed to WFO Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. We had issues with Skype. We had issues with everything. We had to get on the phone, and we got on the phone, and I just posted that audio podcast. And what we'll do is Reinhardt and I are going to get together a little bit later on in the week, and we're going to do it again on Thursday and do the full show on Thursday. But then I started to see some of the tweets and texts from people out there, and they're like, oh, it's back. It's back. Everything's back. It's all back. And so I wanted to see if it was in fact back. And it is. It is back, I believe. Let's see who's out there on the social media. And so I decided to jump on because, I don't want to leave everybody in the lurch, right? I don't want to leave everybody in the lurch. Like, look, they're back. Eddie's out there. Afternoon, Joe. Finally, great to meet you. Eddie, I tried to find you on Twitter, man. I could not find your Twitter handle to save my life. I've got a great photograph with Eddie and myself. We were hanging in the pits, and I was like, don't worry, Eddie, I'll tweet out the photograph. And I put more than the acceptable amount of time into locating you on Twitter. So maybe you're not on Twitter. Maybe I only know you from here, but who knows? And this guy first, Pedro. What's up, Pedro? Go for Pedro. Derek. Hey, Joe. Nice of you to show up. Yeah, listen, I'll crush your head. Do you have any idea how frustrating? So this is not the official show, guys. This is not. This is Joe live stream. Joe Costello live stream. This could be on my personal page. You want to talk the Auto Club Finals? You want to kick around some ideas and thoughts? Great. The real show is going to be on Thursday. And me and Alan just did half-hour audio only for the podcast. You want to hear what Alan Reinhart has to say? Go to WFORadio.com, click on podcast, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Player FM, everywhere you get your podcast. But I did want to connect. Like, come on, man. You don't think I was super excited to get on here and do WFO and see what everybody has to say? And the stupid Google Cloud server issue, Google Cloud networking issue takes down Etsy, Spotify, Snapchat, and other sites and services. And here I am trying to figure out what the heck the problem is, assuming, of course, it's me. It's not me. It's Google. Google, the whole Google universe went down. They took down Etsy. Tommy Johnson Jr. couldn't sell any candles for about 20 minutes, man. It was a catastrophe. And so that's it. Catastrophe. And so what do we do with the catastrophe? Well, we just do something different. That's WFO. WFO is a lifestyle, right? And a lot of it comes out of my day, improvise, adapt, overcome. Yes, they're going to serve you some lemonades. We're going to make lemonade with it. We did audio only with Reinhart. We're coming back on Thursday. And also, you get this, whatever this is. All right, Doug, you get it? Have I apologized enough, Doug? You sure? You think? I don't know, man. I feel like there's going to be some WFO listeners out there that they still are demanding. Like, why? Why? All right, Doug, I'm taking your word for it. But if they're mad, I'm sending them to you. That's all. I'm sending them to you. All right, let's see what everyone's got to say. This is extended chat. This guy saying, yay, better late than never. Nah, this is a different show. That one, not happening. Hey, Joe, says Justin. What's up, Justin? Everybody just checking in. What's up? Golden Valley checking in. What's up, Jim? Jim's out there refreshing for the podcast, communicating on Twitter. Steve, thanks for the photograph with me and Ken Black, Steve. It did take like 10 minutes, but you finally got it in, and I appreciated that. I felt bad that it put the pressure on you. Me and Ken Black are having our first ever prolonged conversation, right? I'm having a great time. This is a guy I think the world of. Think of all the stuff. He's just won the championship. He's having a great time out there. Like, let's get a picture. And Steve is there. And Steve's like, all right. And he takes a picture in the camera, like a spring shot out of it. And, but you got it in, Steve. You got it in. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing that. And Eddie's going to send it to me. Yeah, get me on Twitter and I'll send out that photograph. All right, one of the nice one on the flight with GA and the loans. Thank you. I would hope that everybody would share that one because it was a fun caper. I went to the airport and got there early and went to the bar, and who's there but the loans, my buddy. So we sat down and we were talking stuff, and he's like, all right, got to go get ready for my flight. And so I was like, later. And then I was like, did my thing. It turns out we're on the same flight, as it turns out. But what he didn't know that I did know is that Greg was going to be on the flight also. So that's when we hatched the scheme. And mid-flight, I got in position. It's funny. He's like, oh, we hatched out the plan. And he's like, all right, go get in position. I go get in position. And he goes up there and he gets on the mic and he does this great thing. And I want everybody to retweet it. Retweet it. Let's get that thing out there, man. Greg Anderson deserves it. And as luck would have it, the internet gods and the Google people out there hopefully have not destroyed my ability. I only got 31 people on there. Should I play it? 31. We could have had so many more, but we missed the window. That's the way it works. Yeah, we're playing it. This is it. For those of you who didn't see it, this is Joe and Brian, Sabotage, Ambush, Greg Anderson on America.
Recognize a special passenger of the aircraft. NHRA World Champion Greg Anderson. His fifth World Championship seen in the back of the aircraft yesterday. So we'll recognize a World Champion NHRA Drag Racer. Congratulations, Greg Anderson, on your fifth World Championship. Woo! Woo! Yes, let's give it up. Give a big round of applause.
Hope you're not mad.
Way to go, Joe.
I feel proud. There's a little sense of pride. It would have been better if the jet wasn't making all that noise in the background. Like, you can't control everything. And GA handled it well. And there were a lot of drag racers on that flight, guys. A lot of drag racers. But, one final moment before it was all over. And had a little fun, got to work in concert with the loans on that one. Steve, great seeing you in Pomona. Phil, hello, Joe. Nitro, what's up, Barakello? And this guy, there it is, Fast Eddie 56. That's why I could not find you. Makes perfect sense. Where's Ignition? I didn't get back till midnight last night there, Scott. We'll come up with something. We'll figure out something. But, man, it was a long day of travel coming back east. It's always tough. Let's see. Google can't stop WFO. Actually, no, they can. They just can't hold us down forever, but they did stop us temporarily. Hugo, what's up, Hugo? Just do it, champ. How about Hugo, the voice of Puerto Rican drag racing, is on there. Look at that. See, Hugo never watches the regular show, but he's chiming in here on this. Just a casual conversation with WFO Joe. Hi, Joe. The coverage on qualifying was so clear. It was you right there walking around with your buddy Joe. Great job. What do you mean? Like the audio, the video, that maybe they used they brought some high-tech super cameras out there. I don't know. I know Justin Ashley got WFO Radio, a great shot on the TV show. Thank you, Justin. Man, the WFO logo was like this big. Do you think we picked up some listeners? They were all getting ready to watch the show at 1:00 today, and then it all fell apart. Howdy from down under, Mark, who's got the WFO stickers down under. If you want a WFO sticker and you're down there in Australia, you should connect with this guy, Mark. He's got stickers. Kaylin is out there saying, hey, buddy. She works on the Safety Safari. What up, Hugo? How are you, Derek? The initial chat was probably good with no distraction from us. I like to be distracted by the listeners, but it's old school Joe and Reinhardt, right? From where we started off in 2005 or 6 at XM Satellite Radio, when I had the first nationwide NHRA drag racing themed program called Power Shift, NHRA Tuesday. NHRA Nitro came out of NHRA Tuesday. And before we go any further, since this is turning into a real show and numbers are coming up a little bit, no Reinhardt, but Joe talking Auto Club Finals. Got to thank our sponsors. Got to thank the people who made it possible for me to gather all those champions and hang out. And I'm talking about, speaking of down under, Torque Calibration Services of Australia. Our great friend Matt, speaking of the Ignition Show and our Patreons. TorqueCalibrationServices.com.au. Hey, Mark, use these guys. Tell your friends. Matt has been great. He's wanted to sponsor Championship Week, and that means the week after as well, because we got to do results. Thank you, Matt. And all of our our Australian drag racing fans. Frank Hawley was out there FrankHawley.com. If you're looking for a gift for the holidays, I think the Dragster Adventure is probably the best thing you're going to get. Courses start at $399. Why not? Dragster Adventure. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. We always say next generation gets started at Samtech down there in the Houston, Texas area. Samtech.edu. Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, TotalSeal.com. We're going to be doing some hidden horsepowers live from their booth at the PRI show. So if you're planning on going to PRI, plan on hanging out in the Total Seal booth for a little while. Not a long while, a little while. TotalSeal.com. It was a great race weekend. Hartford 001 and then rattled the tires in the right lane like so many had done until Kid Chaos got down the track in the final. TotalSeal.com. Check out the website. Check out the podcast. And then there's my buddy Marvin Rodak, RodaksCoffeeandGrills.com. I was at the grocery store first thing this morning because there's no food in my house. And this guy's trying to pitch me on some coffee. And I'm like, nah, man, I got the best coffee in the world. Rodak's Coffee. 817-924-6821. I did that. I gave him the phone number right on the spot, told him exactly what he needed to do because the vacuum-packed garbage you're getting in the grocery store is not even near what the Rodak stuff is. 817-924-6821. Get some hot sauce. And I'm trying to work a deal so you can get some other drag racing themed hot sauces through Marvin Rodak. Those are our sponsors, people who make it possible. Our Patreons, another big thing. Patreon.com/WFO Radio. They're going to get their Monday motivation here on Tuesday in a little bit. Go to the website. All right, what's everybody got to say? How about this? Me and Reinhardt are going to give you our opinions on Thursday. We gave you some 50,000-foot perspective on the podcast, which is audio only because that's all Google would allow us to do as of an hour ago. But right now, I want to know what you all have to say about the Auto Club finals. And there's a lot of different tacts you can take, different directions you can go. Clearly, the race winners and the champions were all the same people with the exception of one category. Ron Capps. Ron Capps wins his second. So happy for Ron. Very difficult for me as a drag racing fan who is also a media professional and, a person. Like these people are so nice to me and I get along great with everybody that was in championship contention in all categories. They've all done things for me to help WFO in this show, in this podcast over the years. And so to just watch it unfold is a very strange circumstance. To feel all these nerves, like I was feeling nerves when Hagen and Capps were up there. I'm going to post some pictures later on today on the WFO feed or whatever. And just these moments of tremendous anxiety. That's how I dealt with it. But what about you? Thoughts? Let's make this an audience-centric show. Like you guys, the audience, fans of drag racing, people who matter the most, okay? What I think doesn't matter. What you think does matter. So post a question, comment. Let's get everybody chiming in on it. I'm going to do this for about 20 more minutes. Like Mike says, it was so clear. Like, what does that mean? Okay, what up, sir? All right, we're going back now. That was Ken Black. I didn't know that. It was Ken Black. Yes, me and Ken were having a great, and you kind of came over, and I asked you to take a picture, and you did. And I have the photograph. It was great. Kaylin, hello, Mr. Costello. Hello, Miss Kaylin. It was good. It was good. That was funny. What you guys did to Greg Anderson. Yeah, we got him. And he handled it well, right? Like I would be annoyed. Like here I am. Like once you get on the plane, like the race is over. It's time for me time. Zone out. Nope. Got him. Well played. Great. Everyone reacting. You're reacting to it. Half the plane is thinking. No, they're not. It was Brian Lowndes, Voice of Drag Racing on there. They probably said, this flight attendant has got a really booming and powerful voice. They should hire this guy. That's probably what they were thinking. Jim, what's up, buddy? What a weekend at Pomona. Yes, Santino. Santino's got a stock eliminator car. We're going to start sharing some photographs. Or it's a super stocker. I'm sorry. Art, the motivational man. Thanks, Joe. Thank you, Art. Appreciate it. I try to be positive. Video was perfect. It was definitely an underground, organic drag racing themed video that many years from now, I think will be appreciated by many. We got Greg Anderson on the flight home after winning his 5th championship. Bit of a prank, but not really. All we did was just make a moment, appreciate him. What a weekend. All right, let's talk Greg Anderson. The car was on rails. just going down the track. And they had all the stuff with Elite, Elite taking shots and making moves and all that. Like, it was a lot of noise. And the whole Elite deal, like, let's look back now. Is it better that they did it, or is it better that they didn't do it? I don't know, man. Pro Stock was on the front page. They put Pro Stock on the front page. Like, if you like it, you don't like it, you have an opinion. Not me as the person who watches it and likes to help promote. Pro Stock was the talk. Here's an anecdote that will drive home the point. John Force had a guest in his pit area, and his name is Daniel What Do You Do from TikTok. And he's a young guy, 20-something, who decided when he saw somebody pull up in a Ferrari to turn on his phone and walk over and ask the person, hey, what do you do? And initially, people yelled at him, get out of here. It's none of your business. But then people started to talk to him, and it became a thing on TikTok. And now the guy is like making millions of dollars. He's a millionaire or something because of walking up to people with their phone saying, what do you do? So while that does hurt and aggravate me to my core, because clearly I've entered the wrong profession, I put that aside. And we hung in the pit, and we had to get there a little early, right? Because they're going to warm up the car, and Daniel, what do you do, is going to see Forces warm up the car, and we're going to do a bit for NHRA social media. And this is my responsibilities. Whenever you hear Reinhardt on the microphone for a prolonged amount of time, it's because I'm off doing something like this. So Force is there, and we're hanging with Force, and Force is doing his normal Force stuff, and it was cool. But then, Force, so what's going on in Pro Stock? Wow. John Force is like into and interested and talking about, wondering about what's going on in Pro Stock with all the chaos, like front page stuff. So there you go. I need WFO stickers on my car. Just send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and I'll send them to you. It's all on the website in the WFO store. Hey, Joe, my parents surprised me for my birthday with tickets to Pomona in February. Way to go, Blake. It makes perfect sense. You're out there in Wyoming. Come out. It's a little bit different atmosphere than the finals, though. Still in the hospital in Marin. Oh, Hugo, get well soon, buddy. Get well soon. Any chance of getting Kaylin Simmons over the offseason? Anything is possible. We can try. Maybe we do like a Luke Soil themed show. Jared is going to China for the Winter Olympics. That lucky bastard. Really? What, with the jib, Jared? He waved at me. That's awesome. Well, good. I like the Olympics. Are you coming to the Snowbirds? 50 pro mods for $50,000, says Mike. Yeah. Right now is not the best time to ask. Maybe I was going to the 5-day bracket race this Thursday, and that fell apart when my buddy Corey Kramer is not going to run it now. And so I really want to spend a lot of time working on my own stuff. So if it means 4 hours driving across the state to watch pro mods race for $50,000, or spending 12 hours in my own garage working on my own equipment, I don't know. I think the WFO universe votes for me to work on my own stuff. Hugo had a bad falling. Oh my gosh, Hugo, that's terrible. Get well, though. Were the flights east leaving that late, or did everyone have to finalize stuff for heading out? I saw Brian's post and thought, ooh, that's late in the day. You want a personal travel itinerary, do you? Mine was 11 o'clock flight, man. That seemed like the right flight to get on. And we were a little late getting out. And then Dallas, I was stuck on the ground for a while, and I got home at midnight. Any news you can spill before PRI that we might not have heard? I don't know, man. If you watch the broadcast, you heard a lot of spilled news. Right? Like Caps is teasing something. Like, that's it. Antron obviously is the deal, and the Tony and Leah deal is the deal. And, the Coletta Motorsports deal is a deal. And Mike Salinas talking about getting a new crew chief is a deal. And the new Toyota Supra, which is huge. I know a lot of people don't like Toyota. You guys are wrong about that, but that's okay. I was once you. I used to feel that way. Massive investment. Of all the OE manufacturers, Toyota is probably putting the most, certainly, into the nitro categories. And that Supra is great. So the rumors of the demise of drag racing were clearly exaggerated. Finals were great. Lots of underdog upsets. Yeah. How about Greg beating Kid Chaos on a hole shot? Kid Chaos coming out of the right lane, the lane that was the bad lane. So amazing. Mark says, you are living the dream, Joe. I would love to travel around following NHRA. Yeah, it's really great because of the people and the experiences. But at the same time, Mark, it is also a job. There's a lot of intense moments, pressure. If you make a mistake, it's bad. So as fun as it is, it's work. It's work. And I love my work. But yeah, it's cool. My parents and me are coming to Pomona for the Winter Nationals, where I'm so excited I can't wait. Moderate your excitement, Blake. You still got Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all kinds of WFO programming through the offseason. We're going to hear from Caps and Greg Anderson. We're going to hear from Matt Smith. We're going to hear from Torrance. Torrance was very cool. I'll come on anytime, man. Torrance, I always like to leave the guy some space because he wins so often. He goes, no, I can never win too often. I win just the right amount. Torrance was cool. We had a rap party. We weren't all rapping. We finished at the track. We had a rap party, and it was great. Instead of the tuxedos downtown, as much as I would like to go back to the downtown tuxedos drag race prom situation for next year, it was really nice to see everybody and just kind of decompress. They had an In-N-Out burger truck there. I had In-N-Out twice this weekend. It's good. I'm getting tweets about the awesome numbers NHRA generated on NHRA on Fox this season. Oh, really? Which Twitter handle created that? Oh, look. Oh, it's happening again, guys. Oh, we're dead. Or maybe, no, we're back. Yeah, maybe Google isn't totally back. I tried to switch over to NHRA on Fox or one of these deals and find out the numbers, right? Well, I can tell you we were up like 6 or 7% year over year. And that's a good number. Now, the NFL just launched a thing that they were up 69% year over year. But we're drag racing. The sport is going places. Drag racing is having a moment. It's no accident that Tony Stewart and Rick Hendrick and these people are getting involved. It is the greatest value in motorsports. You race for championships. I think of Tanner Gray. Tanner went over there. It's like, I love Tanner, right? But man, unless you're trying to race to win money, I guess maybe like there's a higher upside over there. But the drag racing community is so much fun and so tight-knit. Big things happening on the horizon. And everybody sees it. We just got to keep it going. We got to keep working hard and make it a reality. And, Brian Loans and Tony and Amanda and Jamie and Bruno, everybody over there. Steve, the people behind the scenes, like they're working their butts off, guys, and they deserve results. But really, it's, who's the fans. This year, we saw the negative fans nosedive, and we saw the positivity skyrocket up. Nobody turns on a show because people are grumbling about it and saying it's terrible. They turn on a show because people give it buzz. And so it's you guys, the fans, drag racing fans, talking about it, kicking around stories, good or bad or otherwise, but talking about it. Like, yeah, man, you should watch this. That's what gets people to watch, and it's working. It's working. The new super funny car looks incredible. The most stock relevant car, I think it's a little unfair to say that because the Supra kind of looks like a funny car all on its own. I think it's probably the most closest to a funny car of all the OE cars. Jan Peterson, great seeing you. Had a wonderful time. Was sure rooting for Angelo DiCarlo. Me too. Seeing Angelo. Oh my gosh, the guy in that beautiful Corvette, the candy apple red Superstock Corvette, guys. Everybody that watched NHRA.TV saw he had to run Jimmy DeFrank in the final round. And I don't know what happened to Jimmy, but Jimmy was like a 1/10.5 over. Angelo took the stripe by 2/10 and broke out. I feel so badly for Angelo right now. Like, I know he had a great day and he went to the final round, but Jan, you and Art know that I'm a bracket racer and I've lived the nightmare, waking up in the middle of the night of taking the stripe by 1/10 and breaking out by 1,000. And I'm on the microphone all the time talking about that. Like, you as the person who is a listener of the show, a viewer of drag racing, the win light comes on or it doesn't. And the person that it comes on, they're happy no matter what. They did great. They did poor. They still are happy. The win light doesn't come on. There are different layers of anxiety and sadness. And this was, one of those things like perspective, but the tears of unfathomable sadness. Like when Cartman fed Scott, his parents, like you just can't till right now. Like I hate to do, you shouldn't even talk about it, right? Don't even talk about, no. That's the kind of thing that people are dealing with. You're in the final. You have the greatest moment. And something horrible just doesn't work out. But obviously in the context of normal competition, there are worse things that can happen out there. And Jan, thank you very much. I won't tell you. So I thank you for the CDs is really the answer. They have CDs where they sing. It was amazing. Mike, what's up, Mike? What's up? Just talking some drag racing here. Little bonus. Cam Ferret repping small company like EMPIVW parts making it to the semis. Yeah, small company, right? That's sarcasm, right? Sarcasm. That's why CIP1 is my Volkswagen company, because KI and the folks at CIP1, they are, in my opinion, the Volkswagen OG when it comes to air cool. Go to the website right now. Check out CIP1. They're helpful on the part of the Total Seal team for Matt Hartford. Alan Reinhart did a nice job of keeping the crowd appraised of the championship point status round by round. Well, it's very important at that time. And there was a moment that he and I talked about, Brittany is down to the final qualifying session and she's not qualified. And what if she didn't qualify? Steve would have been the champ right on that spot, right? Like, there are a lot of things that are happening out there behind the scenes that make it a very intense circumstance being part of the finals. That just doesn't happen for the Winter Nationals. I had some friends out there. They're like, should we come out? It's like, maybe you should come to the winners. Because the winners is totally the opposite. I don't want to say nothing matters, but nothing matters. Like, it's just first drag race of the year. Let's get going again. Let's see what happens. First frame in bowling. Be nice to have a strike, but you got a long way to go. Auto finals is totally different. Everything matters. Everything's under the microscope. It's so intense. It's so extreme. It's probably the best race on the tour. Probably the best race on the tour because of everything. And then just like that, it's over. Scott Bell, too bad Alex Laughlin didn't go more rounds. It was cool to see all those names on the car supporting him. At least my name went 324 miles an hour. Oh, Scott, you should have told me, because I went and took a photograph for Scott Malpass and for Derek Green and for other WFO listeners. I went over there, and everyone that had made me aware that they were on the car, I went and got a photograph with Alex pointing at the name. And Alex was so kind to do that for me and our listeners. Sorry. Yep, Jared. Hello, Joe. It was great to meet you and take a picture of you this Sunday. The guy that's big and shredded. Oh, that's you? Jacked. Dude, this guy, Rick. Okay, now I know Rick, man. He's walking through the pits. Dude, like swole, huge guy. Muscles on top of muscles. Makes Hagen look like puffy. And was real nice. Nice to meet you, Rick. Hope you had fun. Thought maybe Brittany was trying to get on the ladder and meet Steve first round. I thought so too. I thought maybe, I wasn't sure. And even when Grubnick mentioned it, he alluded to the fact that maybe they were trying to do that, but no. And then they went up and smoked first round, same problem. So whatever it was, but a little drama. Gary Emmons, jamming Jerry Emmons, #1 stock eliminator. Gary, what the heck happened? Like, the racing gods, I always talk about them. I hope people who are super religious don't feel like I'm being disrespectful, but I believe that they're, whatever it is, the racing cosmos, whatever it is, like, you guys were up and then you were down. Spoke with Jerry. Jerry said that it was a oil filter in our interview. Maybe you have updated that. But man, I felt for you. Watching that run, a little smoke and a little more smoke, and then more smoke than I'd ever seen, and then you're in the wall. But if you're on here celebrating the champion brother, then you must be all right. But 40 minutes from one to the next. It's crazy. Drag racing is crazy. But congratulations to Jerry Emmons, the Emmons brothers, doing just a great season. And, there's a reason I haven't deleted this photograph from my go-to photos, because the Emmons brothers have been so kind to WFO Radio over the years, and not just me on the show, but announcing, and to put a sticker on there and to go out and chase the championship dream and win the world championship. Like, I'm so happy and proud of you guys. Way to go. But now, you're in the next, right? Like, you got 2 championship brothers. There's got to be more championships in the family. Kaylin is Clay's clutch girl. There's multiple. Oh, okay. Kaylin's been on WFO. I'm sorry. She's been on, but I don't think she was on the video version of the show. She is in the audio archive, but Kaylin Simmons has been on WFO Radio, and she's great. She was wearing a tiara all weekend. Did they have a banquet after Pomona? Yes, they did, except it was called a wrap party, and it was in the Top Eliminator Club. There was an In-N-Out burger truck there. There was a bar. Drink tickets were had by many. We had a great time. It was fun. Loans hosted. He was wearing a real slick tux. Everybody else was in their normal gear, and I was still covered in rubber. No track was worse this season at covering the starting line reporter with rubber than Pomona. Craig Garland, hey, brother. Sure miss not being at the races and seeing you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Likewise to you, Craig. Appreciate it. And, like Eddie and I get along great, and it's just, I miss you. Let's put it that way. It's like a bummer, but everything happens for a reason, as you probably know better than anyone. It's great to be rich. I don't know who that is, but yes, Rich McPhillips Jr. 3 for 3 final rounds, talking about he stinks as a driver. Every interview. Yeah, I stink as a driver. Yeah, sure you do, Rich. But he did say something that I did not have time to retort at the moment because we were down to the final rounds, but that they have the best car in Top Alcohol Dragster. I love that. Let's get a match race going. The McPhillips family and Randy Meyer Racing. Some sort of 4-car match race for big money and big entertainment. Man, and Jackie Frick. Let's throw Jackie in there too. But it's good to be rich. Yeah, it is. And I didn't invent that line, but I'm stealing it because it applies because the name's Rich. Lots of shifting going on Top Fuel and Funny Car. Yes, more than you even know. More than you even know, and we can understand at this point. That's why. Don't miss a show. WFO Radio. Subscribe. Click the bell. Smash. Look at that. We're up to a bunch of people on this truncated non-Reinhardt broadcast because the Google server was down and crushed our show at the very beginning. Thank you to all. Just talking drag racing here, guys. Don't expect. No one's going to come parachuting in. Nothing like that. This is just wrap-up conversation after the Auto Club finals. I want a job working for NHRA like Joe Costello so I can be overpaid and underworked. Yes. Steve, I'm glad you took the picture for me, man. Otherwise, I'd have to delete you right now. But there you go. Oh, look at this. Mike Mulvihill has tweet about numbers. 513,000. Oh, I will check it. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you. It was a good season on all accounts. I can tell you that our social media stuff got great traffic, and WFO, we're very small. This WFO universe thing that I'm doing, I'm a privateer. Does everybody know that? Like, this is my own thing, WFO Radio. And this is for when I get fired from whatever else that I'm doing. Like, I always have WFO. I always have you guys. And I want to grow it as big as is possible. And our sponsors like Marvin Rodak and Frank Hawley's and Total Seal, like, these guys support us. They support the show. But we want to grow, and there's only one way we can grow. We're not going to do a big ad campaign. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of money. Occasionally we promote on Facebook, and we promote a good show or something. There's only one way we grow, and that's for you to tell your friends that this guy Costello is not bad, and he's got drivers on there most of the time. And the drivers come on WFO. Like, we have the drivers. Used to be the only ones. Now there's many, many more. And that's the thing. We've been around, 11 years now. 12 years we just finished. Great weekend at Pomona, and as always, NHRA proved again how awesome they are. Bring a friend, and let's grow the sport. Exactly. And there's programs that they're working on, but I think it's as simple as this. Like, I wish, what do they, the powers that be do that I don't get to be involved in? It's like, they chart the future. I think that sometimes we, as like those who want to have success, overthink the deal, right? Wear your gear. Share your experience with your friends. That's it. Wear your gear. Share your experience with your friends. People trust their friends to guide them. There's going to be a party. There's a good meal. There's a good restaurant. There's a good hotel. There's a good show. People trust their friends. Like, who manipulates you better? Like some commercial, watch this thing, watch it, or else it's on at this time, watch it. Or when your buddy says, man, this movie is really great. It's obviously when your buddy says, this movie is really great, you're probably going to go and see it, or at least take it into consideration or talk about it. Oh, it's got extreme violence in it. Oh, well, I'm not into extreme violence, so I'm not going to watch it. But We need our fans to be having so much fun, loving what they're seeing, enjoying the action, the rivalries, the personalities, the cars, the speed, the people who bring that to them. Encourage them to just invite their friends. And that is what's going to grow the sport. We got all these cars coming, guys. We got all these cars coming. More cars and more categories. Simple as that. 3-year average on Fox and Fox Sports 1. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Why don't you tweet the tweet at me? Yeah, see, I'm concerned about my internet access. That's the thing. Is let's bring it up. Fox Sports VR. See if what I can do here. Because the last one that I saw was the one about. Oh, here it is. All right. The NHRA from Pomona posted 341,000 viewers on Sunday, up 20% over Pomona in 2019. Okay, which is, non-pandemic year. Like, sorry, guys, all this comparing numbers to 2020 is not fair, right, correct, accurate, or a good way to compare numbers. 2021 numbers should be compared to 2019 numbers. And that's the same for the price of everything. When the middle of a pandemic is happening, that's not a good comparison kind of thing because everything is skewed. I had more listeners. Everyone was trapped at home. Let's compare my listenership to, March and April last year. It will be terrible. Nobody could go out. So back to the numbers. The NHRA finished with its best season since 2018, averaging 513,000 viewers across Fox and Fox Sports 1, up 3% over the COVID abbreviated 2020. Look at that. That's pretty good. 2020 season and up 5% over 2019. So up 5%, average 513,000 viewers. Pomona up 20% over 2019. I'm going to retweet that. I'm calling that a success. And it is a success because growth is a success. Except, is anybody satisfied with those numbers? 500,000 average watching the TV show. Now, I know on NHRA.TV, we've got some people that are diehards, but that's not it. We need to grow. They, drag racing, need to grow. Need to grow. And we can grow. More cars, more people, accentuate the fun. And fun brings people. Nothing against anyone, but I hope we're going to hear a lot from Coletta next year. Yeah, well, everybody wants to see Doug Coletta win a championship. I think it's as simple as that. And Doug is a very talented driver and a very nice man and has invested a lot of time in the sport and is super great at what he does. And it just hasn't lined up for the guy. And this year was a nightmare. Let's call it what it was. Total nightmare for all the Coletta teams, for Langdon. JR had a decent year, but not what they wanted. Let's see when they announce that, because that's not been announced. And I know I said something about it, but that was a mistake. Oops. I had heard that from vital, good sources that it was discussed on the TV show, and it was on the TV show. It turned out it was not. Oops. The Super does look amazing. It looks amazing. The guys at Toyota did a great job. I got to announce it. It was great. And then Steve Graham. Steve, what are you doing? We're doing this big unveil of the Toyota Supra funny car, and they bring their Pro Stocker right into the middle of the deal. Oh, man, just live events. Yeah, let's talk about NHRA.TV. Let's do that. Speaking of the naysayers, right? Everybody knows the power of negativity and the power of positivity are different levels of power, right? When people are angry, they go immediately right to the phone and they blow whoever it up it is. They explode them like the atom bomb. And I've been on the receiving end of my phone exploding 1,000 times when NHRA.TV is down. And this year, all of 2021, I can tell you of one time that my phone blew up. And I don't know if I should say where it was, but where it was had a lot to do with it. Now, look, we couldn't get on the air today because of the Google Cloud, right? That's why we're doing this show. No Reinhardt. Reinhardt's in the podcast only archive. You can hear a 30,000 foot view of what Reinhardt thought about it. We're going to go round by round in the details on Thursday at 1:00. I'm not going to be on the air tomorrow because I've got to go to Miami. But NHRA.TV 2021, forget the content. Product stability. Best ever. Very few complaints. And each one of you should write a written apology. But aren't we very happy? Definitely. Good job, NHRA.TV. Steve Johnson put the class on notice. Yeah, I felt for Steve. I love that he got the moment. There's no reason he can't go win it next year with all that he learned this year. Just a tough deal. You know, got beat by Eddie. Angel got beat. Matt Smith, the guy's a beast. He really is. Like, Matt Smith is one of the best racers in all category. And I keep using that word, racer. Like, you know, there's people who can play a game, and then there's great competitors. And that's what Matt Smith is. And I keep mentioning Ricky, because Ricky Smith, like, when you're the kid of one of the greatest of all time, and not just like NHRA championship drag racing competitor, I'm talking like all levels in all circumstances. That's how Matt's mind works. There was a moment that I saw, and, you know, right now, I don't know if it's in my mind correctly, because there's so much that happened, but Matt had the broom and he was behind Steve and he was sweeping for Steve. There was some rocks and debris on the starting line, and Steve was going to be, and they were having this weird interaction where Matt was like sweeping the water box for Steve, and they're moving the bike, and they're having this weird, like, you know, just two buddies, just two guys working on it, except there's championship competition there. And it's like weird. It's like manipulating the cosmic energy. The guys, him and Angie, are good. They're good. Next year with the Salinas team going over there, Scrappers Racing, going to run out of Matt Smith Racing with Suzuki's. Watch out. But I'm eager to see what happens with Vance and Hines and Angel. Felt bad for Angel, but I felt good for Angel. She had a great year. To beat Matt Smith is tough. That's why he has 5. You know, one for the thumb. In what sport do people have 5? Greg Anderson's got 5. Matt Smith's got 5. That's pretty amazing. Jimmy DeFrank is a great racer. Yeah, statement of fact. And a nice person. It's time to embrace Toyota's involvement in the NHRA, wishing they would take an interest in Pro Stock. Yeah, okay, so on this note, a little behind-the-scenes scuttlebutt, like we're always, like, oh, man, some fans just will not accept the Toyota. Like some of the people in Bristol booed when we announced that Toyota was going to make Steve Torrance a Toyota factory driver. I wasn't the booing kind, because I think booing is disrespectful. I don't really boo. I try to stay respectful always. You guys know that, as best as I can. And unless I'm having fun, like with the Boston Red Sox or something. But even then. But once upon a time, I wondered too, like, was it a good idea for Toyota to come into NASCAR and NHRA drag racing? Because, you know, my military family, my grandfather in World War II, all those old habits die hard type stuff. But now, that was 20-year-old Joe, 40-year-old Joe, 37-year-old Joe, says, oh my God, they put their money where their mouth was. They stepped up and employed hundreds of people. They've invested millions and probably hundreds of millions in our sport when others have not. And investing in this new funny car and the way they did it and do it and the way they handle themselves and carry themselves and the people that they support. You know, if I was standing up, I would do the Toyota jump right now. Thank you, Toyota, for supporting NHRA drag racing and have been for a long time. Like, you know, which manufacturer supports NHRA drag racing the best? That would be a really good debate right now. And we should keep going, because Dodge with the national events stuff and Chevrolet. But back to the point, wish they would take an interest in Pro Stock. What if they took an interest in factory experimental? What if that was a thing? everyone's super excited about factory experimental, guys. And I don't want to get ahead of it because it's a exhibition category next year. But I heard a bunch of anecdotal numbers. Anecdotal, I say that because it's like, is it exactly true? I don't know. I heard that there would have been 8 to 10 chassis already ordered in the first week. That chassis have been ordered from the big chassis builders. That doesn't include the ones that are, localized chassis builders, which are welcome to build these chassis. So, maybe this factory experimental is the future of pro stock. My opinion is most of the pro stock racers are totally okay with that as long as you've got a clutch and you're shifting the gears. Like, what makes pro stock? Most of all, you got to be shifting the gears. Like, I love naturally aspirated. I do. But ultimately, does that matter? Factory relevance matters the most, I think, and shifting gears. As a BMX racer, I can relate. Excellent. We had some pro-level BMX racers out there. Jerron. I didn't get to hang out with Jerron at all. Jerron factored into the... You were on the other lane of the run that determined the championship? What was the deal, Jerron? It was a long time ago. But I remember thinking to myself, well, Jerron finds his way into some sort of championship spotlight. Isn't that interesting? Not a fan of Toyota. That funny car looks great. Right. Exactly. And you don't have to be a fan of Toyota. You can, and this is what nobody knows how to do in the world anymore. You can be against something and still appreciate it and respect it at the same time. They do a lot of good work. They spend a lot of money. They support a bunch of drivers. I'm rooting for these guys, different guys, against them. Without malice and hatred. That is supposed to be part of life. And a lot of people have lost that, not just in drag racing, but in everything. In everything. Two things can be true at once. I'm going to root against them, but also think they're doing a great job. But I hope they lose because I got other guys that I like more, right? And who knows what happens. Your guys decide to hang it up or go somewhere else, and you look around and maybe you make a different decision at a different time. But yeah, the Super looks awesome. All right, here's Jerron's deal. How about Christopher Dodd, 2 years in a row, Super Comp? I tried to be the one to help him, but lost. There it is. You lost. Gave it back 11 thou. Gave it back again, Jerron. Again, didn't we have a big conversation about this? Or that was another thing. Anyway, I'm just teasing with you, Jerron. But yes, you did find your way into the championship spotlight. Ran Devin Eisenhower and got beat. That would have been, if you had won, Christopher Dodd would have been the champion on the spot. Instead, he had to wait like another round or two. Hey, Christopher Dodd, he's out there helping out with pro stock cars on a pretty regular basis. I see him out there. Winning back-to-back in Super Comp is exceptionally rare. I know Langdon did it, but I think he's the only person to do it. And I think that makes Christopher Dodd only the second person to do it. And he's a very talented young man, Christopher, if we're talking Sopranos. Hello from Florida. Hello. Watch the Hope Over Heaven Top Fuel team at Gainesville next year, says T. German. Yeah, well, Mike Booker, man, that guy is a driven and determined character, and I like him a lot. And yes, but here's the deal. The guys running 4 races need to run 8. The guys running 8 need to run 15. The guys running 10 need to run 22. That's all. Like Trip Tatum, man. Trip Tatum. We need that guy out there. Trip Tatum, the guy's obviously ready to go. He's got his car built. Now he's got to just, feed it. Right? Like it's different once to build something from scratch is one thing, but then you got to feed it. Trip's got the real hard part done. He's got a car. It's together. He's got all his specs. He's got his people in place. Now he's got to feed it. What does it eat? It eats money. Money. Go find money, Trip. And Trip Tatum. Like I've talked with Trip a couple of times. I don't know what he thinks of me, but he's quiet. He's a quiet guy. And he's just like, he's been pushing this rock up the hill for a while now. And I admire that. It's really cool. We'll get him on the show someday, maybe. Okay, so now I find Joe. Yeah, sorry, Lonnie. Blame Google. Worldwide outage. It came out on a push notification. Worldwide, Lonnie. They were conspiring against me and Reinhardt, having a good show. But we did the podcast, and it's in the audio-only podcast archive, which is why everybody needs to subscribe to the podcast. This live stream is not enough. YouTube, Twitter, it's not enough. Like today, I'm not going to post any of this in the podcast archive. This is just going to be social only. I will have the Combat Veterans Memorial Truck going again. I will let veterans race it throughout the year. Great. That's great. Maddie. Hey, Maddie. Hopefully you're well. Will the rap party be released on Facebook or YouTube? I believe the answer is no, is what I believe the answer is. It's kind of a, in the biz private thing, not for the fans. That's why our shirts were off. But other than that, it was great. No, it was fun. It was just, at the end of the year, and with a lot of COVID stuff still going on, that's the thing, guys. Like the COVID deal is still going. The COVID deal is still going in a lot of places. California is still being a lot less careful, though. Things are opening up, guys. We're getting there, but it won't. I have a photo of Ryan in the jacket. Oh, good. Everybody wants to see the chip photo. That was it. Like someone wanted me to get the chip photo. Speaking of Ryan Ayler, hey, if you're in the Tampa area, Wednesday, December 29th, between Christmas and New Year's, Wednesday, I am going up there to that Showtime Dragway, and we're going to do Joe versus Pro, me versus Flying Ryan. It's going down for real. And so if you want to go out there and you enjoy a little match race between me and Flying Ryan, I know a lot of people have been placing bets and wagers. Many have been betting on me. I think that's a very foolish bet to bet on me. I appreciate the support, but Flying Ryan Ayler owns these cars. He's driven these cars. He's driven them both. He knows the track. He knows the facility. He knows all the idiosyncrasies and details. I am flying in the day of, not driving, flying, so I could get 2 segments. I'm really pressed on segments. The end of the year is going to be tough. Got to get there. Next level. But in what world does the part-time person who carries a microphone around go to someone's home and drive their cars and beat them? Like, where does that happen? In what universe does that happen? I'm doing this to be helpful to Flying Ryan and his Tampa race rentals. And he's a good guy, and we've become friends. And I know it's going to be a fun opportunity for us on the show. And Joe versus Pro, we're going to record it. And we're going to make like a little pilot of it, because I think that this is a deal that, maybe we turn into a WFO YouTube show, Joe versus Pro, where I'm battling professionals in other stuff, right? Like, like chefs, like they're dicing the stuff and I cut my finger off, or, who knows? Maybe I get into a basketball game with a NBA guy and he just stands over me and I can't get a shot off. Of course, it's a comedy, this show that I'm pitching, Joe versus Pro. This is going to be the first episode. The idea that people think that I sit around and talk on a chair and a microphone all day long, I'm going to go beat a Camping World Series professional drag racer at his own track in his own car. That's a little long. That's a little bit of a stretch. I don't know. I think there should be odds or something. So if you're planning on making a wager on Joe over Pro, I would think twice. Just saying. I sent best wishes for a happy Thanksgiving to all the racing family, to everybody. When is Thanksgiving, right? That's like a couple months away. We got a couple weeks, right? You need to show the photo on the show, Joe. Me and Ken Black? I haven't transferred any of the photos. Yeah, I get texts too. Ant Dog. What's up, Ant Dog? You rock. We're just on here today kicking it. If you're expecting a driver, there's no driver. There's no nothing. This is it. WFO. Costello just killing time. I had all this energy. Me and Reinhardt were going to do our deal. And then the worldwide Google cloud collapsed right before the show and everything died, including Etsy. And so me and Reinhardt recorded. It's in the podcast archive. You can go listen. And this is me testing because Jim Essex was like, it's back up. Get on the air. And I'm like, okay. Talk to you guys. I don't know, man. You guys aren't making any great points. Timmy Roach. Love hearing and seeing you. Tim's a friend from back home, back in the day. Timmy and I raced a lot back in the day. Great guy, now lives up in the Carolinas. I'm going to work on my own stuff, by the way. That's a big part of this offseason. Everybody's asking me, what are you going to do? I'm going to work on my own stuff. I have a plan. Darren, looking forward to the 2022 season. Got to plan a few races this year. Look forward to seeing you again. Likewise, Darren. Likewise. Plan your races. You want to do a show about that? Like which races everybody should plan? Like what I would love, our audience isn't big enough yet. And we're trying real hard. We're growing. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that think I'm a jerk, as is everything. I think about this kind of stuff all the time. You spend a lot of time on planes. You watch a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I watched all of season 10 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia the other day. Very funny. Great stuff. Love that show. Tells you a little bit about me. But thinking about people like what can we do to make things better in our life, in our country, in our sport, me, WFO. Like I wish we could get, do more things together, like more big events at these races. We have a reason to all be together at these tracks, right? Like some WFO junkets where the listeners agree, like, all right, let's pick a race each year for everybody in the WFO universe to go to. Like, okay, in 2022, the race that everyone is going to plan to go to, in addition to the ones you already plan to go to, like the U.S. Nationals and the Gator Nationals, right? In addition, and the Auto Club Finals in Vegas too, which I think are the races that you have to go to. Cameron Evans told me once upon a time, he goes, there's a couple of races that you got to be at, no matter what. Gainesville, Indy, Finals, and probably the Winter Nationals, right? And he was so right. But now Vegas 2 is added to that. You got to be at Vegas 2. And then we can have a floater. We can have a floater where all you guys plan your travel and go to the race that we all agree is going to be the race. And then maybe certain tracks will like offer us something. Oh, bring your people in. Maybe NHRA will give us a discount if we sell some tickets, the WFO junket. These are ideas that I have. But you know what I just described? It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, guys. WFO Universe needs to be self-sufficient. Walt, great job keeping people up to date with the Sportsman Points round by round, Joe. Thank you, Walt. I think of you all the time. You're like my focus. Like like method actors have to think about something. I think about Walt and hardcore sportsman racers and fans like yourself who what's happening in the pros is great. I wish I knew more of the round by round situational deal about, sports and racers and divisions and all that. But it's just very complex to keep up with, especially with all the moving parts that are happening. But I tried to do a better job this year, and I'll try to do an even better job next year, assuming they're, I hate to say it like that, but I don't assume anything. I don't assume there's going to be a next year until there is. So we'll see. But thank you all. And good luck to your dad with his car. Any chance NHRA would bring back Dave Reef for the Fox broadcasts? Lonnie, I'm going to give you a no on that one. Dave was good. Brian Loans is a personal friend that I've seen him work. I've seen his work ethic. I know what he's about. I know where his head's at, and I know where his heart's at. And I really don't think that there is another person that could do a better job of what Brian is doing. Now, there are some things that I think could make things better, but I think you got the right man for the job in position right now, is what I think. Now, what would I love to, see Dave come back and be a part of the broadcast? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I would like to see myself in some sort of situation that does that a little more often first, because I'm me and I'm worried about me. But we don't know. So how about that, Lonnie? Unequivocal Joe giving you a hard no. Watch it happen, right? Watch it happen. Who knows? Derek, Motor Trend deal. Was SEMA a one-time deal, or is there something cooking there? Who knows? What, the stage? Yeah, I don't know. I think that was just kind of for SEMA. A lot of people have gigs, right? Like you have a job and then you have a gig, and there's all these gigs that pop up. Like I'm going to go do PRI and do Hidden Horsepower from the Total Seal booth. Nice little gig. It's going to be great. Love the Total Seal guys. Check out Hidden Horsepower. Tim. Look at Tim hanging out with Guido, champ. Great job all year on the show. It's been a blast to watch. So proud of Dean and John, my boys, turning the wrench in the pits. Look forward to seeing how the teams shake out. Going to be epic 2022. It is going to be an epic 2022. Caps, John, and Dean winning in their first year together. It's really great. It's a great story. You know, Dickie Venables, first over there to Caps. Caps was under the tower. I spotted him over there. They obviously had a camera on him at some point. So Caps was under the tower, and I tried to run over there and get an interview, but I TV got there just a little ahead of me. And as TV's going, I got to lay out. But I couldn't be happier for those guys. They are so forthcoming with information. Like, I've got crew chiefs that lie to me, guys. I'll be honest. They lie. You know, they don't tell me. Like, they'll tell me something, but it's maybe a little wrong or a little off. John and Guido, and before them, Tobler and Eric Lane and Dustin, like everybody that's associated, I think it's because, they know that Caps and I have been friends for a while, and that I try to do, educational stuff for the fans. And so they educate me. They give me genuine information. And I was real happy to see them do it. Not that Dickie doesn't, by the way. Dickie Venables absolutely does. For the record, I like the current broadcast team on Fox. Yeah, I do too. And I know Tony catches hell from a lot of people, but you got to get over that, because the thing about Tony is that, like I always think about, you're picking a character in Hot Shots Golf, right? You're picking a character. Yeah, this is not Reinhardt, guys. This is Costello and his wild, crazy thoughts. In everything, in life, it's like picking an avatar in a video game. And not everybody has the same strengths and same weaknesses. And like, let's say you're in Hot Shots Golf, right? Or a fighting game. Like, somebody's got endurance, and somebody's got power, and somebody's got quickness. And, there's those little bars that show you what it is. Okay. What Tony's super strength is his willingness to say what he thinks is happening, in spite of the popularity of what that may be. And that is very valuable. And, being a very smooth professional broadcaster and linking all the words together and having them be like a very smooth and like, that's what Brian does. Tony sees something and thinks something. He puts it out there. And that's so rare. That's rare to have that. And so, I'd love to, like I said, as things grow and get better and the ratings grow and more people are watching and care, things will change. Things will, new things will happen. But you're in the context of, you got 500,000 people watching. What if that 500,000 becomes 750,000, becomes 1 million? You don't think we can pick up another 500,000 people? Whose job is that? It's my job. It's my job. This is it. I'm doing my job. We got kicked off the air by Google today, and we come on the air anyway to talk drag racing, to make you think a little bit and to burn off some energy, to be fair. Come on. All right, let's see. Bass Knuckler. Is DSR only going to have Caps and Tony coming back next year? Anyone else left? That's a great mystery. I've been watching you for a few years now, and I really like your show. Thank you. T. German. Wow, like a fungus, right? I grow. I always told people back in the day when I did talk show, not specifically about drag racing. And if you want to hear that, the Ignition show as a podcast is the closest to it. I've got opinions on all kinds of stuff. Comedy, jokes, funny stuff, talk show. I did a general interest guide talk show for many, many years. And we always said to people, like, you cannot listen one time and like this. This is not the kind of thing like with, some beautiful person, or you just watching, you're enamored by watching them. That's not what WFO, it's not what I do. That's not me. I need you to hang tough for like 3 weeks. I need you to hang in there, to understand where I'm coming from. Because it's just in life. It's not, I usually try to be quiet around people when I'm around them at first, because they're not going to get it at first. They're not going to get it. Not at first. You should include Elaine Larson in her jet car team in an interview. I love Elaine. Actually, I have a thing that I got to catch up with Elaine about. Can't do it on the air, though. No, I'll tell you. No, I can't tell you. But I got a plan. I'm hatching a scheme. Another caper. I got all these ideas, guys. All I need is capital. Anybody want to give me some capital? Yeah, how about that for an idea? You want to take just a blind flyer on somebody's character? Send me some money. Mike, are you going to do some happy hour shows during the break? Yes. Hard yes. Absolutely. Beverages, alcohol, entertainment. Send me an email, joe@wforadio.com, your thoughts and ideas of who you want. I don't think our championship interviews should be that. Very true. My friend started to watch our Division I live stream since I talk about racing so much. That's it. Exactly. People don't know what they don't know. You can't expect someone who's never watched something to just watch it and like it and appreciate it and understand it. They need to be taken by the hand and spoon-fed. Or you could do like a mama bird with a little baby bird. See, that's the kind of thing a first-time viewer might not like. And if you've been around for a few weeks, you get it. You need to position it. Like, this will be fun. Pick a driver. Do the boxes game. Like, make them pull names out of a hat. Oh, you got Ron Capps. If you get Ron Capps, you win $20. Oh, man, that was fun. Let's watch it again. When's it on? It's on Fox. It's on Sundays. The fans have got to do that. We're in a new universe where we're competing against everything. Like drone flight racing and guys in wingsuits and stuff. It's not like it was on Diamond P Sports back in the day when the race came on like a month after it was over. It's not like that. Oh, look at this celebrity. In Jason Lyne's words, directionally correct. Yes, sir, Mark. Congratulations, Mark. Part of that championship team over there with Angie and Matt. And thank you for your support of WFO Radio over the years. I appreciate you greatly. Hopefully I can't remember the last time I saw you. Where was that? Vegas? I don't know. But yes, we're directionally correct, which is better than some. But really, though, if we're not just directionally correct, but like what is the trend line, right? Like, is the trend line, it's up. Okay, that's directionally correct, up. But I genuinely believe that right now is the time to go mostly in on promoting the sport. I would never go all in and like risk it all. Like, the idea of risking it all is dumb, but people are looking for something new, exciting, fresh. You got all those Tony Stewart fans, like just Tony Stewart's fans at all. Can we bring over 20% of those people? Can we utilize the relationship between Hendrick Motorsports and Greg Anderson to bring over 5% of those people? If you can do what I just said, 20% of Tony's fans and 5% of Hendrick Motorsports fans, that 500,000 becomes 600,000, becomes 700,000. It's a numbers game, guys. We can do it. But then again, I'm WFO Joe, meaning all I'm really trying to grow is WFO Radio, because it's what I own. Trying to grow this. But I carve off a segment, right? Like NHRA's got 100,000, got 1 million on Facebook. We're under 10,000. But then again, we have no fake followers. No fake followers. Not that NHRA does, but I'm proud that we have no fake followers. I know it was said during the TV telecast, not Fox, but Coletta and Johnson joining forces. Yeah, that seems to be the rumor that's out there, that I maybe misspoke and said. Maybe. Look, guys, it's the kind of thing where some things deserve big press releases and some things just happen. And I think everybody's trying to sort out what kind of thing this is. I'm happy for Bruno locking up his third comp championship. I'm happy for Bruno as well. Always and generally. Bruno is leading like a charmed life. He's a 3-time champ. He works on TV. He's got a beautiful family. He's like a great looking guy. You know, like the day Bruno wakes up angry at something, he deserves a punch in the belly. Sorry, Bruno. It's true. And you know it. Matt Smith needs to get a... It's already done, brother. He cut the hair. They cut the hair. Get this. Matt Smith. See, like, this is the thing, the 1,000 things that you just don't know about people. Matt Smith's mom grows her hair every year and shaves her head and donates it to Locks of Love for cancer patients who have lost their hair due to chemo and various other reasons. You guys know about those charities, right? And so Matt, all this time, that was in his mind, that his mom does that. And so, yeah, he's joking about Lisa from Denzo and he's joking about keeping the hair going. But what did they do? They cut the hair and they donated the hair. And the hair is donated to someone who doesn't have hair. I wonder if they get a bonus, championship hair. But yeah, haircut happened, saw it. It was done. It was done at the wrap party. Joe sent you a photo of Brian in his jacket at the banquet photo, Facebook Messenger. Haha. Yes, thank you. I'm not this is not that kind of show, man. This is me just kicking it with the audience, doing downloading and uploading. Not doing that today, but Thursday. I thought you said this is not a real show, guys. This is not even getting uploaded to the podcast feed. Reinhardt is there now. Did I hear correctly that Star Racing is coming back to Pro Stock Motorcycle? Unknown. I overheard that, something like that too. And I did some quick searching and I couldn't find anything, and it is unknown to me. Fortunately, I'm hoping that George Bryce will tell me, but I hope so. Right? You heard that? Did you hear that too? I heard that. I thought I heard that too. Man, that would be awesome. Because I would try to take some sort of credit for a wonderful conversation I had with George in Bristol. Like a 0.5%. I would try to worm in on that. Steve Johnson was late. It's that simple. No excuses. Yeah. Pretty much. Moving on. Joe, wait until you see what I debut at Gainesville 2022. Oh, a little too general for me to get excited about that, Jaron. A little too general. Could be anything. Could be a T-shirt. Could be anything. It's good. We're talking racing. We're talking race car. What are we talking, Jaron? How great is this VIP audience out there? Like everybody's just checking out. Like I have genuinely said nothing. And you're all on there. Thank you. Thank you for watching WFO for over an hour. This is because Jim Essex got me motivated. And it's really so I can promote the podcast and the podcast feed with Alan Reinhardt. And, Alan, he spends enough time. Like we went through stress of not getting on the air. And then we recorded something. And then I let him go. And then everything came back. And so, hey, Alan, you want to come on and do the show now? No, we're going to talk on Thursday. He already booked me in for Thursday. We're good for Thursday. And then I jumped on the air. At least we don't have to see Joe with the helmets for a few months. Or do you? Hey, guys. Sign up for WFO Radio right now, and maybe No. I think I'm funny sometimes. The helmets. Oh, my God. I'm going to have PTSD of those helmets. I really think they should sell them, though, in the Nitro Mall, judging by, speaking of ideas, judging by the reaction that they got. Everybody loved them. And you get them renewing the seats. And so here's how I would do it, right? If I was running the show, I would put last year's helmets in the Nitro Mall next year, and I would come out with new helmets to renew next year. Maybe current drivers. You know what I mean? The Ericas, the Steve Torrance, the Champions, maybe the Champions helmet, something like that. And I would do it every year. The helmets from last year go into the Nitro Mall. And you can buy them, and that's why. But everybody loved these things, man. They loved them. They're actually really cool. And when you saw me on there passive aggressively promoting them, because, my buddy Jason Logan, that was his deal. And I did it. But man, what a great collectible. Like this is super cool. But yeah, you got to see helmets. Rookie of the Year, Dallas Glenn. I wholeheartedly think they got it right. Props to Josh Hart too. Well, so Josh, did nothing wrong, did everything right, had a great year. I advocated for a co-champion if they both ended up with 2 wins. But then, even at the end of the year, Dallas Glenn raised his game and was a factor in the championship. Making the countdown is I got Giovanni in Miami, who's my co-host on the Ignition Show, took exception to something I said last week about winning the 1,000th event shouldn't count for Rookie of the Year, right? It shouldn't be. It's just an anomaly. And maybe he's right. These are the kind of conversations that we have on Ignition, and maybe he's right. But making the countdown, I like to think you're putting weight on a scale, right? Win. Okay, Top Fuel, bought the team, kept the guys working, made a move. Yes. Crew member, lifer, found a sponsor, part-time schedule, full-time schedule, made the countdown, won the 1,000th race. That's a big moment. Beat Erica with a 001 light to potentially save the championship for his car owner, mentor, team owner. Man, Dallas factored in. And people rewarded him. The vote was taken. The vote was locked before the Auto Club finals. which I don't think that's good policy. I think you got to leave it open till the conclusion of the Auto Club finals, but they want to release that information at the Auto Club finals. And so that's why they do it. There's a reason for everything. Nobody's dumb here. Everybody's got a reason. They want to release the information at the Auto Club finals who the Rookie of the Year is at the banquet. Well, but what if Josh Hart had gone on to win the race and Dallas had lost first round? Then what would we have thought? Will they go back to running 2 qualifying sessions on Friday in 2022? Unknown to me. Okay, but I'm going to speculate. I'll speculate for you. Maybe at some places, like we had 2 qualifying sessions at the Texas Motorplex, and that was well liked. They factored in it. Maybe it will be one of those depends on where you are kind of situations. I think the future of NHRA drag racing is going to be a lot of it depends on where you are kind of things. How successful is the event? How successful is Friday is the event? How many people? How many cars? How many people showing up? What's the story? Right? As opposed to a blanket policy for everywhere. And I actually think that's a good way to do it. I think it's a good way to do it. It doesn't matter what manufacturers are involved in drag racing, whether it's Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, whoever else. I'm a fan of drag racing regardless. Yes, I agree. And that also extends to things like the style of engines and whatnot. Like ultimately, people bring their fast cars to the track and they roll them out and race them. Naturally aspirated versus supercharged small blocks. Okay, I like 500 cubic inch pro stock engines. I love them. But I also understand the manufacturers want to be involved. Maybe the Supra comes in. Maybe they've got a thing. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be at the drag races one way or another. Just got the Spotify notification. All right, that's, so I guess it takes like an hour. Bracket Race Badass Joe is the heavy favorite. I am not the heavy favorite in Pro versus and Joe versus Pro. I am a massive underdog. I am a media guy who has not drag raced in a year. And there is no chance that I win. Take him down, Joe, says Steve. Ryan don't know, Joe. Well, it's just a WFO spinoffs. What a great idea. There it is. See? That's in my area, so I will come. I'm in town. We're talking about Showdown Raceway. Yes. 29th December. Drag racing, anybody can win on any given day. Clip flying Ryan swings. People are rooting for me. That's good. Thank you. I will give it my best shot. Lowering the expectations a little. Next week, Thanksgiving. Thanks, Lynette. Thanks for getting me up on the calendar because I'm definitely off. Show a photo of Brian in his jacket. No. Get with me, Joe. I have a car for you to race in Super Street at the Gators next year. I don't have grading points. But yeah, you know what? That's also a possibility. Thank you, Jerron. What a wonderful segue, Jerron. At some point, like I'm beating my head against the wall with my own car. You'd think that somebody would recognize that giving Joe Costello a driving gig would be very beneficial to them in their hunt for sponsorship and their spotlight and media attention. Like they would be a focus of the WFO universe. They would be like, you'd think that like everybody's got extra cars all over the place, man. You'd think someone would have come up with that idea before Jerron, the genius, came up with it here, because my little inching along, trying to get my own stuff out there, which will continue to happen. Ignition. Yes, eventually, maybe. I mean, I hope so, Scott. Scott, what did you think of the wonderful photograph I sent you of Alex Laughlin pointing at your name on his car? What did you think of that? Wow. Thank you for supporting Alex, ponying up the money. That was great. And I saw this name on there, and I have a friend with the same name. And I'm like, oh, man, my friend, he did. But maybe it's not him. Maybe my friend just got his name on there for free. Pontiac update. Engine out, working on the plan. I had a nice long discussion with Jason Line about this deal. And he got my mind right. And I'm going to follow the Jason Line plan. He's been a motivator. He's been a muse. He's been cattle prod at times. So I wanted to, get his thoughts. And he basically gave me the lowdown of what he thinks I should do. And so I'm going to follow his direction. Not a huge fan of the countdown, but I do like when all the championships are decided. Well, exactly. And Billy Torrance came over to me and gave me I'm still not a fan of the countdown, but you could tell in his way of saying it that, yes, this was freaking exciting. And you got to give something to get something. Clinching it in Dallas is great, I guess, but then we miss out on all that rest of the journey. The countdown creates something. And someone might say, well, it's false. Well, is it false? I don't know. I just lived it. I lived the experience. I lived the countdown. It was awesome. Greg, Erica, none of that would have happened. I think Greg would have pretty much just locked up the championship early as well. Funny Car would have been great no matter what. And Pro Stock Motorcycle, I think was the same result. First time in history, all the number one seeds won the championship. Bob Fry stat, I read it on NHRA.com. The stuff you did from the time slip booth was awesome. Thank you, Dragster Jeff. Thank you for recognizing that. We are trying very hard to be creative in the NHRA social media team. We only need a couple more things, most of all, more time. The drag racers are so great. The sportsman racers, Lucas Oil Series racers. Here I come, and I'm worried, someone's going to say, get out of my face, because they're in deep concentration, and instead they are awesome. And if you didn't see it, I suggest you watch. We went down to the ET Shack, the round of 16, so it was third round, stock eliminator. And we put the camera and the mic in people's face, right as they came off the racetrack, and watched them debrief as they got their ET slips. And, I was me. I did my best in the situation. And I watched it back, and I thought it was awesome. And I thought, man, I was real proud of myself, but, not everybody likes everything. So thank you, Dragster Jeff, for saying that. I'm not a huge fan of the countdown. No, I already said that. Question, why was Friday qualifying only streamed on Facebook? You can gain a much younger audience by putting it on YouTube. Just wanted to say I enjoy Brian Lone's work. He is the real deal. Didn't mean to imply I want Dave over Brian. It's good. Good job, Lonnie. Apology accepted. No, and then no disrespect to anyone, right? Right place, right time, right person. Hey, Joe. Was a great race and couldn't be more excited in finish to the season. So glad to be a part of Matt Smith Racing crew. Big congrats to all the champions in the team. Tommy, great job by you. The deserving people won in Pro Stock Motorcycle. Simple as that. Sad, Scotty Polachek not coming back. There was a lot of debate about Scotty, gone forever or gone temporarily. And some people said gone forever, and some people said gone temporarily. My opinion is gone temporarily. Scotty and Sue's, they're building a house. They're focusing some things with Matt Smith Racing and Scrappers coming together. There's just a bunch of different stuff going on. Sometimes it's good to take a break, refresh, prune a tree back. It's a good thing. Get the Patriot on. I don't know what that means. Dallas Glenn, Rookie of the Year. Plenty of knowledge to the show. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It is whatever. And J-Lo? E2? Maybe. Did your confiscated coffee show up? No, I'm my Marvin Rodak coffee that he gave me at Dallas that I turned over to the folks at the priority desk at American Airlines, and they were going to ship it to me. I've given up hope, guys. I've given up hope. It's over. If it shows up someday, but it's been 4 weeks now, and I think if they were going to send it to me, they would have sent it. I just hope they didn't just throw away this box of exotic gourmet coffee and hot sauce away. I hope someone do we know anybody that works in the Dallas Fort Worth priority desk, American Airlines? Because it was a little sad. Also kind of my fault. I was trying to make that flight. The storms were coming, all that stuff. I had this lady tell me something and I just believed her without getting a confirmation. And I should have gotten a confirmation. My mistake. Hey, it's Nick. My dad took me to my first drag race when I was 5 years. I've hooked ever since. Not only has Nick been hooked, Nick and his brother, and they lived around the corner from me. And their dad was a great friend, a car guy and drag racer at Miami Hollywood Speedway, launched his motorcycle off that tree, guaranteed. They woke up Saturday morning of Bristol and said, let's drive to Bristol from Miami. And they drove up there nonstop. Maybe it was Friday morning and bonsai'd up there to watch the Thunder Valley Nationals. It was awesome. Great drag racing story. Like, we got diehards here in South Florida. It's a shame we don't have any kind of track or presence. NHRA is number one in return fans. Certainly. Matt Clark from Torque Calibration Services. That's the deal. I've been doing the show a long time just so Matt would wake up. Did I say Mark? Oops. Thank you, Matt. Torque Calibration Services of Australia. But all the funny stuff I was saying is all still true. Jack Corporal III, Cycle Drag, might know if Star Racing is coming back. Yeah, I think he probably would. No, I heard somebody say that too. And I was like, rrr. LOL, Kevin, they throw him a third. Yeah. That's comment. Keeps coming up. I have to mention Josh Haskett and the loss of his dad. Yes. He will still be someone to watch. Well, exactly. And I saw that on Facebook either today or yesterday. Terrible. Josh, obviously, to you and your family, our deepest condolences. This is the worst part of being a part of this drag racing community, is that you get to know so many people and like so many people. And even the ones that you're not like really close with, you know, people who are close with them. And when people experience tragedy, pain, personal heartbreak, there's a lot of it. And so obviously our thoughts going out to that family. Lex June is another one coming up in Top Fuel. I certainly hope so. Him and Gerda, they've been with WFO for a long time. Pomona Finals was the warmest. You remember it being, yes, it was unreasonably hot, and I'm against it. And it should never happen again. Too hot. It ruined my National Dragster prediction. My new column in the Dragster, which is either out or about to be out, talks about a lot of the stuff that was going to happen at the Auto Club Finals. And I nailed all the predictions, basically. I totally hit a home run. But it wasn't like a 500-foot Mickey Mantle home run. It was only like a slipped-over-the-wall home run because of the weather. I went out on a big limb, and I said that Grubnick was going to run 3:59.9 in Friday qualifying out there because it's supposed to be cold. We're supposed to see records in Friday qualifying at the Auto Club Finals. And instead, Ma Nature served us up 95-degree record heat. Anaheim, record heat all over that place. And it ruined the Dragster column. Ma Nature. But it's okay. Do we have a good number of WFO folks that were on Alex's car? I got 3, me, Scott, and Scott. By the way, my middle name is Scott. Weird connection. Wow, a bunch of Scotts. And who tunes the car? Oh, my gosh. Another Scott. Scott Palmer. Conspiracy or coincidence? Also known as a conspirance. You should have Jack from Cycle Drag on one of your shows. He's got a lot of knowledge of motorcycle drag racing. Jack and I are buds, man. Absolutely. I'm sure that the early clinches outweigh the last-minute runs at Pomona, but years before the countdown, nothing was better than a model. Yeah, how many times did that come up this weekend? Absolutely. No, nothing beats that. Final round, final race for a season-long deal. 2 drivers who have separated themselves. But I'm taking the countdown. But yeah, it was good. Oh, we got so many comments. Everybody, you guys got to stop commenting, please. SaveOurRaceCars.com. All right. It's a shameless plug. I hope it's nothing terrible. My mom took me to my first drag race back in the early 60s. Same 5 or 6. She used to work with someone who drag raced. You should consider doing a season race with a rental car company. Win-win for both of you. What is a season race? What do you mean? I am national rental car to the bone. The priority people at American drank the coffee. Well, if they did, they should definitely let me know about it, and they should call Marvin and give us their endorsement. What happened to Palm Beach? Palm Beach isn't dead. They got the 5-day bracket race going on this week. I was going up there, but my buddy Corey pulled out at the last second. Rightfully so. His boys have got 8 soccer games this week. And so, but it's what I was going to do on Thursday. I was going to the 5-day bracket race. There will be the Citrus Nationals. Dave Richards is going to run his Nitro Funny Car there. That's coming up the weekend after Thanksgiving, and many are saying that's the final Citrus Nationals, that there will be a schedule next year, maybe, but it's going to be turned into a warehouse complex where they load up trucks for Walmart, something like that, Target. I don't know, but it's very sad. It's a total travesty. The local community, they should not let it happen. They have the power to not let it happen. They don't have to rezone the facility. The local racers, though, I don't mind telling all you, really disappointed me. They heard the news and they just said, oh, well, and they gave up. Very sad. Nothing we can do. Someone should chain themselves to the track. Joe, I really appreciated the stock, super stock walk around in the lanes, chatting with sports and racers. More of them should say a few words about their ride and the team. It's great perspective for the folks that can't be at the track. Thanks for a great year of coverage and podcasts. Dave Mead from New Zealand. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, we're very international here on WFO. We wanted to do the first thing of the day. It was Saturday morning. Maybe it was Friday morning. Maybe it was Saturday morning. And we talked to Stephen Logan from Massachusetts. And we talked to Matt Blodgett from the Kickin' Chicken, and Phil Mondella, and Chuck. And Jason Galvin, who was 00 in his first 2 national event rounds, by the way. Way to go, Jason. So yeah, we're trying. Like the people who say, like, that's the thing, okay? The people who say, like, NHRA doesn't try to do sportsman coverage, like, that's wrong now. Like, that's not right. It's wrong. They would be a total insult to the hard work and effort that we are putting in directly to try to do that. Like, that is no longer true. The sportsman racers who say that they don't care about us, it is wrong. And for a while, it was just ignored. And now it was kind of being met with, no, that's inaccurate. And soon it will be met with animosity and anger. No, because at what point does something that is just mistaken become a lie? We've been pumping out really good, detailed, in-depth Lucas Oil Series driver coverage for a couple of years now. So when someone goes on there and says they don't care, at what point does it become a lie? Next year. If anybody says it next year, it's a lie. Brett Kepner is notorious for along with announcing. Does WFO continue into the offseason? Yes, it does. Not quite the exact same schedule. Maybe a little bit looser schedule, but yes, it does. WFO Ignition and the Reinhardt conversation go through the offseason, and I can see myself doing a day like this, where we just kick it and we try to catch up with all the champions. One of the WFO things is all the champions. We try to catch up with all the champions. Last year we didn't catch up with Christopher Dodd. I think was the only champion we didn't catch up with last year. And look, the guy wins 2 years in a row. That's really the reason, We just knew. You're catching up on comments, 1.5 hours. Thank you. Yeah, this is me. I felt so terrible. I took it to heart. I felt terrible that the Reinhardt conversation didn't happen. So I wanted to go as long as that, which is just about now. And now I'm just trying desperately to get to the end of the comments. I watched Joe off in the offseason. I'm hooked for life. Thank you, Lonnie. YouTube, WFO Radio TV on YouTube. WFO Radio TV on YouTube. Oh, look, Monica. Dang, you're super late. Oh, Monica, you missed the big Caps Torrance, Greg Anderson, Matt Smith drinking game with the shots. Like, oh, man, it was so great, Monica. Too bad you missed it. It will be a car that I'm debuting. I do this a lot, but I'm very excited about this car. If it doesn't drop everyone's jaw, I'll quit painting. Okay, well, let's do the debut live on the air, Jerron. Let's get you out there and we'll do the cover, and you pull the cover and you do the thing live on the air. You want to do that, or you want to go somewhere bigger? You want to do it better? You want to do it on NHRA's Facebook page? Like, let us know. I think you have buttered Nikki up enough by telling her she's your favorite NHRA personality that she'd be up for it. I'm guessing. Absolutely. I'm a big thrilled with Funny Car Chaos. They don't call me to do any work or anything, but I still think they're great. I love what they're doing. They've got a good program, and they're probably going to go through some growing pains soon because they're getting big, man. People are building funny cars to race Funny Car Chaos. They got a nice duration schedule, right? Like you can do it. You need stuff like that. Like, anybody who thinks Funny Car Chaos is a competitor to the National Hot Rod Association doesn't understand how it works. You need Funny Car Chaos so that people can get in and get tuned up and understand and spend a little money and feel it and go fast and like it and appreciate it and realize it. They want to challenge themselves. And then they go up. Alcohol Funny Car, certain races, big show Funny Car. It's, like I use the word ecosystem, but there's a ladder, there's a system, it's a funnel. You can't just have one place to race. You have to have regional series. You have to have other places to race. You have to. Because it's intimidating. Yeah, we're going to go out and run for our first time at the national event level. You know what? NHRA needs to start promoting its pros first. We need more NHR content out there. It's the reason NPK is so big in their online presence. Yeah, well, I agree. I think we are promoting our pros, and I think our pros are promoting our pros, but we need to do more. The thing about No Prep Kings is it's a TV show first. Like, they don't have to really can change the rules on the fly. It's not like Major League Baseball is this competition, and NHRA is this competition. No Prep Kings is a TV show, and it's just a little different. Right? Like, what comes first? The TV show comes first. They got like 8 crews of camera guys going around capturing stories and the stuff that ends up on it, and it airs weeks after it happened. My dad's like, oh, so-and-so crashed. It's like, oh my God, that happened months ago. Right? So it's just so different. It's very impossible to compare. Like, we get, like Ron Capps won the championship and he got like 3 minutes. Like, what, Caps is like, and what does he do? Man, I missed out. I did. I just ran out of gas. I should have met up with those guys. Didn't know you were coming back. Oh man. Yeah. Well, it was impromptu. You can blame Jim. This guy is the guy. Get on there. And I was like, all right. Thanks for coming on despite the Google failure. Yeah, Jim, thanks for motivating me. I posted the podcast audio, and then I thought, let me jump on there. Like, I got something to say sometimes too. I know everybody tunes in for Reinhardt, but yes, that is a good idea. Gators will be fun. Yes. East Coast opener. Where's the Netflix drag racing series? Funny you should say that. That's a tease, Kev. You should infer from me saying that there's something going, maybe. I wonder if that instant information is not a bad thing in a way. It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. Simple as that. All right, that's the last comment, guys. That's the last comment. The final countdown. All right, everybody, thank you very much. This is just, this will not be on the podcast feed. What is waiting for you on the podcast feed is Alan Reinhardt and a quick conversation. But we're going to come back Thursday, and I'll hash it out with Reinhardt, get his thoughts. Then we'll be done for the week. I'll be off tomorrow. Maybe this will bounce around. The Greg Anderson on the airplane video is great. Go find all our social from the weekend where I tell Daniel, what do you do for a living? That I want to punch him in the belly. Right? Auto Cup Finals was amazing. There's so many great experiences. I love the sport. I love what I do. Hopefully you do too. Hopefully you realize that, it's more than just a sport or a hobby. It's this thing that was created. We all kind of are invested in keeping it going and seeing it flourish. But now, like, I'm involved. It's just like a race team. Like, when you're on the team, you want to win, right? You don't just want to compete. You want to win. So I think that's what we're doing, myself especially. And, if you guys are WFO and you want to be along for the journey, that's great. We just posted a new merch store in our social media a couple of times. I'll blast it out here. The Jay Seelig ordered one of the Wide F and Open shirts on Friday, and it showed up on Monday. He got his in gray. All colors, mugs, all kinds of interesting stuff there. We're experimenting with this, and so far, so good. Keep me up on it. And by the way, the shirt was $13. It was on sale. Like, amazing. I'm going to blast all that stuff out real soon, but appreciate all you guys. The Greg Anderson thing on the plane was awesome. Yeah, well, thanks to Brian for being the voice, and I was the camera guy. It worked out very, very well. Most of all, thanks to Greg for, appreciating the humor. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. WFO. See you on Thursday with Reinhardt.